Hello, good morning, all. I just wanted to show you a little bit of work I was doing. Uh, these are willows, and the handle on this one of the sheep's foot, that's black willow. I got it off one of my carvings that broke. I tried making a what is it? Oh, jeez, like gross floor here. I gotta get on it today now. Been doing a lot of this instead of trying to clean my house. Just letting it go. But yeah, don't mind that. I'll get it all done up. But yeah, I just wanted to show you. This is what I was working on too. And this little guy here. That's if you can see, that's not a gopher. That's a or anything like that. That's a weasel. That's gonna be a weasel. He's not. He's, those aren't his eyes on there. That's just from my Dremel doing the sanding. It kind of made a like a burn mark on there from the rubber that holds the drum. Yeah, so on the Dremel. But anyway, I'm making that one, and these are red and diamond willow as usual, the usual wood I use. And it's a real durable wood. This willow tree. Like well, this here is spruce. Actually, I cut this out. I was gonna make another quagmire carving out of it. Quagmire smoking a joint is what I was gonna do, but I changed my mind and I used this wood instead for a crook on my stick. I made this into a dowel. This the handle, and with this here, when I peeled it, it had its own handle. It made its own handle. I didn't even have to do anything to it. All I did was peel it, and it made its own handle. And I sanded it very smooth. So, but it's joined here, right here, and I put this ring right around this wood ring, in between there, and I pushed the handle together, and I put the twine around the dowel so it's nice and tight, so it fits it like nice, good and tight seal to it, so it won't go anywhere. And I glued it all up, so, and I put this here to show the like where it's separated, to kind of hide it, I guess, basically. But you could still tell it's like it's joined together. This wood does not match this wood at all. So, you know, this one's joint. Well, not joined. It's carved into it. Got the handle there a bit going. But yeah, this is a sheep's foot. The handle, and it's black willow. This one. This one's black willow. So you can tell by the dark color in it that it's actually a tough wood to sand. I had a hard time sanding this, even with the only one that I could get to sand this down was that zirconia sanding disc. That was the only one I could get to get this thing down, because all those other sandpapers, they weren't cutting it. All those other sanding discs I had too, they weren't cutting it. So the only one I could go to was the zirconia sanding disc. Like, that's for steel, that's for metal. So it's the only one that could get that down, and I still use that to this day. Those zirconia, I used them back when I started carving this about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. When I started about 6 years ago, I started carving it. But at that time, I didn't know how tough it was until like that next year. I realized it was a tough wood I was dealing with, especially when it dried up. It was even tougher. But that's a good wood. That's a real good wood. That black willow. It's really like if you ever wanted fence posts or beams, this would be the wood, or else furniture. That would be the wood to use. And it's abundant. Black willow, wherever it grows wild, it's abundant. So you'll have lots of it, that's for sure. But I do go back there once in a while to go get black willow for myself, like to carve up. But I realize it is a tough wood, and it's best to carve it when it's half dry, not when it's dry, because it's a lot harder to sand when it's dry. And like I said, you got to use a zirconia sanding. Well, anything that has zirconia with it that sands, I guess you would need that. That's basically for metal, is what it is. But yeah, I made the crook here. I made that two pieces out of two pieces, and yeah, it was really bad crooked, like most diamond willows are. Yeah, so But it gives it a unique look when you straighten them out, eh? So, and this red one too, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't actually too bad. It was just bumpy looking. So, it's not too bad. I don't know what I'll do with these knots. See, I could carve a face in that too. But I'm not even sure what I'll do with it. I could carve the weasel head in it. And up here, maybe carve a weasel somewhere right here along the body, his body, along in here. Maybe I will, I'm not too sure. Because I got another stick over there I still have. That's, I got like 22 now. And there's still like 4 outside I gotta finish. So, I like making this. I like doing this. I think these are a lot more better to do and better to sell. Because carvings and statues, they take a while to sell, and not everybody has the room for a big statue or a 3-foot statue. Not everybody has the room, eh? Not unless it's like a night table. I did carve night tables too before out of trees, out of raw wood, and I sold them to my neighbor. All 4 of them he bought, and I carved some animals in them too. And yes, I used black willow. I used black willow at that time for those ones, so they were hard, nice. They probably still have them, because I know that the guy I sold them to, I know he's not gonna sell them right away. Maybe he did now, because I don't go over there anymore. But I don't have a vehicle to go anywhere, so I lost my vehicle because of my crazy brother there. Destroyed my vehicle. He poured pop in my truck, and my truck, the motor was already had lots of miles on it, so it went kapoof. So it's no longer. When he did that, it already had over 450,000 on it when he did that, and it only ran for a little while after that. By the time it got to 480, it just bombed out. And that's a Ford. That's a Ford for you. I don't know. I think those guys designed it like that. That's what I think about it. They designed it like that, so you can take it back to their mechanic every time. That's no good. That's no good. Wasn't a good idea. Yeah, to do that. People just scrapped them. People just crushed them, sold them for cheap. I had no choice but to sell mine for cheap. Yeah, $500 is all I sold it for, and it was a 2010. But I got the cats. I should have just cut the cats off and sold them myself instead of letting those guys take them. Because what they paid for that's the amount they should have just given me without the cats. I should have just took the cats off. But that's another subject. But anyway, you guys have yourselves a good day out there, and if you're carving, do your stretches before you do your work. Do your stretches, especially when you're older. You have to stretch out, because sometimes, like if you're working too long of a day, sometimes your bones they can creep up on you later on. So you have to stretch out, sometimes 2 times a day. Just to keep yourself limber, and you don't get sore muscles the next day. So and you have to get some varnish and glue. I'm just about out of glue, and I have no varnish not varnish, I should say polyacrylic. I don't use varnish because of the solvent it has in it, and you gotta wait 72 hours to touch your work, your carving, after you use that. And it's basically a waterproofing clear finish. That's what that is. Varnish. That one. They say wait 72 hours before handling your wood, your woodwork with that. That's why I just use polyacrylic. It's ready the next day. It's ready the next day. Doesn't take too long to dry, but it takes 24 hours to cure up, and that one takes 72. The spar varnish takes 72 hours to cure up. It dries in 24 hours, but to cure up like solid, hard, it takes 72 hours. But this polyacrylic, it's water-based, it's a little safer. If you get it on your hands, you can probably touch your mouth and you won't get sick. Well, not with that on, wipe your hand first. Then save you had to. Or swat flies away or bug you. But That's why I prefer that water-based one other than spar varnish, because it's got solvents in that one, and it's a little harsher. So, it does make your carving last long. Like it does preserve it. It's not like this. This doesn't do that either. Eh? Like you can even actually preserve this wood by burning it, by lighting it to a fire, letting it catch fire. It'll be a little more preserved. It'll be a lot tougher. But I would just rather let mine like peel it and then let it dry up. It's kind of the same thing anyway. But fire killing is or fire kiln. It's a little more well, a bit more work, I should say, rather than peeling. Rather than it's a bit extra job to do. Is what I should say. It's an extra step. So that's up to you if you want to do it that way. It's an extra step, but I just rather let it dry on its own. And I would prefer to use willow than any other wood. That's got an eye right there. I should actually make that into an eye, like an animal eye. That'd be cool, but creepy. There's some people. Forget my bowl there I was eating earlier. But anyway, you guys have yourselves an excellent day. And thank you for viewing my channel. Have a great day, all.